Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be doing my review for Hey Pikmin for the Nintendo 3DS. This game works on all versions of the 3DS. So, original, XL, new, 2DS, yeah, whatever. It works on all of them. Anyways, this game did come out this year. If you're watching this video was made in 2017. So, did come out in 2017. Back in July. Basically, this game is a spin-off of the Pikmin franchise, which is normally Pikmin 1 through 3 has normally stayed on consoles, so this was the first handheld Pikmin game, but it plays very differently. The main series itself is more or less a sort of open area 3D real-time strategy sort of action game, and this game is more or less a puzzle platformer, side-scroller of sorts. So, very, very different genres. Right off the bat, I'm going to say this game, it's not as bad as a lot of people say, because there are a lot of people who didn't like this game because it does something a little bit different with the franchise. It is not the next Pikmin game, it's not Pikmin 4, but as far as a spin-off set in the same universe and the same franchise, it really does have its own merits, I will say. If you are a Pikmin fan, there is something good about this game that you'll see. If you are a platforming fan, I think you'll also enjoy this game. If you're a puzzle platforming fan, definitely going to enjoy this game. Now, if you're someone who plays Pikmin and isn't necessarily a Pikmin fan, you're playing it because you're a fan of real-time strategy games, you probably aren't going to like this one as much, because it is, like I said, that whole element of the Pikmin franchise is not necessarily in the same capacity in this one as it is in the other ones. So, just keep that in mind. If you play Pikmin because you're a real-time strategy fan, not necessarily because you're a Pikmin fan, you're going to be disappointed. But if you're a Pikmin fan, or if you're a platformer fan, or a puzzle platformer fan, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. I clocked in about 22 hours into mine, and I mostly 100% of the game. I said mostly because you can also go through each levels and get a gold Pikmin trophy, which basically you get that if you go through the entire level and do not lose a single Pikmin. I got that for some of the levels, but not all of them. I just didn't care to, but you can do that. That's something else you can do to 100%. As far as the content goes, the game does have 8 worlds, each with a boss at the end, and there's about 5 stages per world, plus you have a final level as well with the final boss. So the game is pretty meaty. I mean, it's not, obviously it's not going to be like, you know, RPG levels of length, but as far as a platformer goes, it's pretty meaty. You're going to get your, you know, like I said, you're going to get your bang for your buck. I went through the 100% run, and I clocked in 22 hours, and I'm someone who kind of takes a lot of time with my games as well. So 100% run for an average person might be closer to like maybe 15 hours or so, I would say, give or take. If you're just going through and wanting to beat the game, like most platformers, like, you know, like the Mario side scrolls and stuff, probably somewhere between 6 to 10 hours. You know, if you don't replay any levels, just go through and get to the end of the game. Yeah. So, the gameplay itself. So I mentioned it's a puzzle platformer. It is a side-scroller. It plays completely in 2D. So there's no 3D whatsoever. Even on the 3DS, there's no stereoscopic 3D, which, personally, usually when a 3DS game has no 3D feature, I sort of get a little bit disappointed. But in the vein of this game, I'm not actually too worried about it because of the fact that this game utilizes both screens as one big screen. Kind of harken back to the DS days, not 3DS, but the original DS. So you had games, you know, like Sonic Rush and so forth, which they capitalize on using both screens as one big screen, and you're going between them a lot. That's basically what this does. You control everything via touchscreen. So if you don't like touch-only controls, again, you might not like this. But you walk with the actual directional pad with Olimar. But everything else is done via touch controls. You use the stylus to flick your Pikmin, select which ones you want to use the whistle, you know, so on and so forth. But the controls work well. They work really well for a game of this kind. Like I said, it's perfectly well. You can easily micromanage your Pikmin well with it. The only thing is that sometimes the controls, I want to say, as far as aiming your Pikmin, they work, I want to say, 95% of the time. There is one or two instances where, like when you're trying to fight an enemy and you might fling the Pikmin, and sometimes the enemy will, like the Pikmin will go right into the enemy's mouth, even though you had tapped further up to get on top of the enemy. So that was just something I was encountering. So that's why I say 95% of the time, because I rarely ever encountered it, but there was a lot of times where, you know, you were tapping and the Pikmin didn't exactly fling where I wanted to, so I was like, okay, whatever. But for the most part, the controls work well. Like I said, they're very easy to pick up and play. The levels are good. The levels are really good. However, I do want to say they're very basic for what they are. Each world has its own theme, and you get the Pikmin. As far as Pikmin goes, there's red Pikmin, blue Pikmin, yellow Pikmin, and then from Pikmin 3, there's the rock Pikmin and the winged Pikmin. So you get those 5 Pikmin to play with, and you don't get them all at once. You get them throughout the game's worlds, which are called sectors. You get them throughout the sectors. And you start off with one color, obviously, and then you go from there. And then basically, the puzzles in this game aren't as diverse as the main console ones are. So what I mean is, there's a lot of instances where, yeah, you'll need a certain Pikmin, so there's some water-based puzzles or, you know, areas to get around. So it's like, okay, you need the blue Pikmin. And then there's areas, you know, the fire stuff with red Pikmin. But they don't go too over the top with the puzzles, as well as they don't ever cross them that much. Like, there's not really any puzzles that you have to use a red Pikmin immediately followed by like a yellow Pikmin and then a rock Pikmin. There aren't too many like crossing of the Pikmin like that. There are levels where you have multiple types of Pikmin, but you basically approach a puzzle and be like, oh, I need this Pikmin for that puzzle, and then you use it, and that's about it. There's not really too inventive ways of using it. However, the actual Pikmin abilities themselves are used to their fullest potential, I will say. Winged Pikmin really work well. There's some really great levels designed around them, and the rock Pikmin also are utilized to their full potential. And then of course there's a lot of underwater levels of blue Pikmin, and it's just like that. So their powers are utilized really well. Just the puzzles that utilize them aren't as diverse. So I will say that the levels, some of the levels can be really expansive, and there are secret exits to them too, which is actually pretty cool. But the levels are very easy to navigate. You do have the actual objects to find in the levels, and as well as battling enemies and collecting what's called Sparklium, which Olimar needs in the game's plot to power his ship. And the items aren't too hard to find. They're very easy if you know what you're doing. Rarely did I ever have to replay a level to actually find something, and when I did have to replay a level, it was only like one time, because like, okay, that item's obviously there, and I missed it because I was going over here. You know, it's very simple stuff. So the level design, it's good, but it's very basic. So the game itself is very easy. I didn't die a single time with it. So just so you know, the game is very easy. Unless you're going for a no damage run to get those gold trophies in every level, the game is very easy. So if you're looking for a challenge, you're not going to find it here, unfortunately. But the spirit of the Pikmin franchise is here. Like, it feels like a Pikmin game, just in a different vein. It really does. Like I said, the Pikmin powers are utilized well. You're trying to protect Olimar as well, and still manage him and micromanaging all your Pikmin. You're just doing it more in a different fashion. You're definitely a lot more cozier and not as expansive as the console games, which are fine for a 3DS spin-off. It's not meant to be stacked alongside the console games. It's meant to supplement them as something on the side. And for what it does, that's perfect. You know, it does it pretty well. When you collect the Pikmin throughout the stage, they will go to a place called Pikmin Park as well. Basically the park, it's a neat idea where basically while you're going on the levels, the Pikmin sort of dig in areas where their element is to find new stuff. But that's basically all it is. It's completely automated. You just pick where you want them to go, and they do stuff on their own. There's nothing really huge with it. It wasn't implemented too well. And then once you find stuff in an area, you really can't do anything until you get a different Pikmin type. So it's pretty much, okay, go here, set the Pikmin there, go play some levels. Oh, cool, they found me this item. Alright, cool, back to some levels. Like, there's no real... I mean, it's a neat idea, but yeah. The game also does utilize Amiibo. So the Amiibo, you can scan a lot of the Amiibo, a lot of the Mario series Amiibo and the Animal Crossing series Amiibo. You can scan them to play bonus levels, which let you get those Amiibos as actual items in the game for your collectibles. So that's actually pretty cool. As well as you get this Amiibo. This came out with the game as well. So this is the Pikmin Amiibo that shows obviously the 5 Pikmin of the game. So this Amiibo, what this does is it levels up depending on how many Pikmin you have in the park. And the more it levels up, the more you can use it in a level, in an actual level of the game, to automatically summon Pikmin to your side. So that's actually really cool. It's a really cool feature, the way they use the Amiibo in this game. So the Amiibo functionality, awesome. Very, very awesome. The only thing, like I said, the disappointing things about the game is there's not a whole lot of challenge here. It definitely, if you're a strategy, real-time strategy fan, definitely this isn't for you. If you're a touch control fan, not for you. And a big thing that I had a problem with was the lack of white and purple Pikmin. And like, at least like Pikmin 3 had them in other modes. This game omits them completely. There are no white and purple Pikmin, and white Pikmin are my favorite. So I mean, I love those guys. Purple Pikmin are also pretty cool. So it's kind of sucks that they just went with the basic Pikmin 3 roster here. But hey, like I said, it's a spin-off, so it's something you can forgive. But still, if you're a big fan of white and purple Pikmin like I am, it does come off as slightly disappointing. So yeah, but the game's art style is very charming, very, very charming. The sound effects and some of the soundtracks are amazing. Really, really nice. Really, a lot of the sounds, you know, very ambient. You know, like a lot of the other games, a lot of naturist stuff. You know, really, really cool. Really nice and relaxing. You put on some headphones and you know lay down at night, play a couple hours of this, you're good to go. You know, very, very nice, relaxing, cozy game. Very easy pick up and play, like I was saying. The story, nothing really to tell about it. It doesn't really expand on anything. Does not expand on Pikmin 3 story, which if you play Pikmin 3, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but Pikmin 3 does have a really neat story and a really neat plot twist about the entire series behind that game. This, not so much. There's the protagonists that were in Pikmin 3, they're not here. It's only Olimar. Olimar is like the only really human character here, and he's just on a side mission coming back home. So, plot, whatever. It even takes place on another planet as the other Pikmin games, even though there's Pikmin on this planet as well. So the plot's not important, so you know, whatever. So all in all, the game is really, really good. Really nice spin-off, complimentary to the series. Does have some hiccups. Pretty basic spin-off, like I said, pretty basic, but it does have a lot of polish. The controls are near perfect. Like I said, some hiccups here and there. But definitely, it's not for everyone. But if you're a fan of puzzle platformers and side-scrollers, and if you're a fan of Pikmin, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. So, personally, for me, I would give this game a 7 out of 10. That would be my final score. 7 out of 10, pretty good. You know, pretty good. Could use some work, but hey, maybe they'll make a sequel to this game. So, anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something with this video. And as always, thanks for watching. I will catch you guys later.